give you problems that we're currently facing why we need this product. The Zimbabwean economy is run by EcoCash. EcoCash is a mobile money system like M-Pesa. So we're talking the whole economy does not have cash. We're having a cash crisis. That's why we are printing those bond notes on the next picture. Basically, bond notes will not work in any other country apart from Zimbabwe. So we're having a cash crisis. We resort to mobile money. The same mobile money company, Econet, has MasterCard facilities, which are student-friendly in that if you swipe, you only lose about 30 Rand to 40 Rand. Now for MasterCard, that is student-friendly. Now, they recently introduced limits to their withdrawals. So an ATM withdrawal is now being reduced to $25 per month. Point of sale is $75 per month. That equals $100 converted to rands, currently 1,300 Rand per month for each student. That's your limit. So that causes a lot of problems. 1.3 does not cater for my rent, does not cater for my groceries. More relatable problems. People now put Russian beer instead of bottles. Our banks now want to perform a invoice for university in South Africa if they were to pay fees. So the screenshots are basically conversations with people's parents wanting to pay school fees and them having problems to send because the university has to now process pro forma invoices for every other national, international student from Zimbabwe. Now I'll move on to basically these are the problems, our solution. Our solution, we aim to bridge this gap concerning the financial crisis. How do we aim to do this? We aim to do this using Bitcoin. Now, I will move on to basically what we've done to date. The research has been going on for over a year. It's also my field of study. I'm doing a master's in more or less focusing on the same thing. So we first launched on the 1st of September. We've had 8 successful transactions to date. 6 of these were people sending money from Zimbabwe to South Africa. 2 of them were actually people sending money from South Africa to Zimbabwe, which was new to us. The total is $2,000, converted is 26,218 in 2 weeks. Now, we obviously anticipate to have more demand because if someone was restricted to 1,300 a month, they can actually opt for any other service that brings them more money to pay rent, pay school fees, be able to afford whatever things that you want. We've taken screenshots of basically the reviews that we've got so far. I'll read out one that stood out, is that this client has used our service since its inception, used it a couple of times. It takes 2 days. Normal banking protocols that 2 to 3 working days. Our markets, we actually can trade on the weekend. So basically 2 to 3 working days. Our charges are 3%, 4%, 5%, depending on the bracket. So 3% for any amount that's above 3,000. More reviews are on our Facebook page. So now, why do we need 5,000? It looks like we are making a lot of money, right? But we're actually not. We need this 5,000 because all our forms of advertising to date have been more or less spamming. It's unprofessional. It does not resemble you dealing with people's money. I mean, I had to share, possibly everyone in this room probably knows I share a lot. So I had to share to create awareness, right? If you can have a sponsored advert, it pops up to those sections of people that you say, I want to target university students ranging 17 to 20 or to 25. And then radio, newspaper adverts, posters and flyers, printing and distribution. Obviously, all those things, we calculated the cost. 5,000 could do us a whole lot of good. Basically, that's Study 263. Our website is up. All those are in-house costs, designs, facilitating the transactions, the bank charges, all in-house costs. Please like our page, Facebook Study 263. Thank you. Now take questions.
I'm not familiar with the study 260. Can you maybe just break it down and explain exactly how it works?
Alright, so study 263, basically you send money with EcoCash. So EcoCash in Zimbabwe, you have a limit of 10,000 US dollars. That's in Zimbabwe. But when you're now outside, you have a limit of $25. So the first step, we have 4 steps to receiving money in SA. The first step is that you send to our EcoCash agent. So as long as it's within 10,000, you're not breaking any laws. Then once you send that money, we receive it, that's instant. Once you do that, we enter it into our Bitcoin exchange in Zimbabwe. That's step 2. Then a Bitcoin agent sends that money to our SA agent via Bitcoin. So now you can now move Bitcoins. You can move Bitcoins to the UK. Then once it's now in South Africa, I convert it to rands. For the most transactions that we've done, we've had to incur those intermediate bank payments costs because we want our service to be fast. So more or less they get covered with the charges that we charge as well. So basically those are that's the process flow of the business.
Your system depends on 2 things. The continued integrity of Bitcoin. You are aware of the Chinese attack on that. And it depends on a pessimistic view of Zimbabwe as a financial system. What is your prognosis of the 2?
Okay, so for the first one, the Chinese government banning ICOs, we obviously do not anticipate it, but it was something that has happened before in the Bitcoin industry. How we sort of deal with that when it comes to transactions, we tell the client, given the market rates right now, if we were to move your money, this is your output. So you get 1,000 Rand. Let's say you give us $100. Are you saying, are you okaying this transaction? Then if they say okay, then essentially we just go with what the market has, because the market is still there, just the Bitcoin prices have gone down. So that's how we do the first one. The second one, the pessimistic view, of course we are dealing with a system that obviously Bitcoin is new to a lot of people. But now a lot of people are out of options in terms of people's rent, school fees. It's now, okay, what's the best solution? We spend more time sort of educating or telling people using like simpler analogies to make sure we get over that pessimism. But then basically it comes down to there is no better, faster, cheaper money transfer system.
I just wanted to know, in terms of, are you guys still allowing people to invest in your company or at that?
All right. So for now, we're trying to keep everything sort of within the initial people that started. So we obviously going to need some injection. How we've sort of let that space be open is within ourselves. We've obviously allocated ourselves shares. We've left about 30% of shares that if when the need arises to say we need to raise money to go to Stellenbosch to go tell them about the product or to go to UCT, then we'll say, okay, you come on board with your money, we give you this percentage of shares. So as of now, not yet. We're sort of still trying to reach the roads market alone. We haven't actually reached out to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. My question is in terms of relevance and your long-term plan, what would happen to your product in the event that the economy of Zimbabwe did actually improve and, for example, the cash shortages were eased? How relevant would the product be in that situation?
Okay, so that's obviously us thinking way in the long term because it's but it's good. So if you noticed on some of the reviews, we're looking at a cheaper way, a faster way. So right now it's the only way, but then because people are looking at it in the form of limits, that's why it looks very attractive. But we're not just pushing limits, we're pushing a quicker way of you getting money from Zimbabwe or any other place in the world. But now we just recently launched. So quicker and as well the smaller bank charges. Because infrastructure-wise, all we are having a cost of is having a smartphone that handles the apps, which is not that much of a cost. In terms of a bank, it needs to pay employees, all those things. So we obviously remain cheaper and faster. So sustainability-wise, those are the things that will make us stay.